Hi, welcome to Movie Review Mom. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Kandahar. This military action thriller is now playing in theaters worldwide. The movie is rated R and is an hour and 59 minutes long. My overall movie review mom grade is a B. So let me explain. Don't click away. I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, funny lines, and even recommendations for other films that I think you'll also like if you like this one, but another one that I think you're going to like better. You ready to begin? Let's dive in. In a nutshell, this is another example of how film critics and audiences differ in opinion. Critics have awarded it a very low 46% on the tomato meter, while audiences are getting a kick out of it with 83%. I was going to say degrees, with 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. So there you go. The director is Rick Roman Woe, or Wow. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. And writing credits go to Mitchell LaFortune. The story is about a CIA operative who flees with his translator while trying to evade special forces in Afghanistan after exposing a covert mission. So there were a lot of things I liked about this. First of all, if you love Gerard Butler like I do, then you know you can expect some tension and some grit. As always, he does a good job, and he also helped to produce the movie. So I'm a fan. I think that he gets better with each movie that he does, and he tends to do a lot of these action, gritty movies where he's dodging mountains, I don't know, disaster movies and that kind of stuff. And that's a lot of fun if you're in the mood for that. This one is a much more serious military movie, but he was well cast, I thought. Other cast members include Tom Rhys-Harris, David Negavon, Ali Fazal, Travis Fimmel, Elnaz Norouzi, Bahadur Foladi, and more. More names I can't pronounce too. So believe it or not, this is only the second American movie to shoot entirely in Saudi Arabia. I don't know why that surprised me, but it did. There are scenes that make it look like you're seeing the Dubai airport and the UK airport, but they were all filmed in the Jeddah airport in Saudi Arabia. I'm always amazed that vehicles can hold up driving through all that sand and clay. Now, I know what I'm saying because I just went to Israel and Jordan, and we were driving on roads, and these poor cars were getting beat up. And in this movie, they're like driving on sand out in the middle of nowhere. And so it just amazed me. Who knows why, but Regal Theaters was the first theater to screen the film back in May as a surprise, calling it Mystery Movie Monday. And so I'm sure that the people who showed up in that theater were like, whoa, this is awesome. And it was, because they were the first ones to get to see it. So just to keep things confusing on set, Gerard Butler plays a character named Tom Harris. His partner in the movie in most of the scenes is played by Tom Harries. So I just can't imagine how confusing that would have been. Beautiful cinematography for this film, and the story felt pretty realistic, not like a convoluted, preposterous scenario that could never happen. Now, I'm sure military people will look at this movie and go, well, no, this wasn't accurate at all, and I don't know anything about that. But it seemed like, yeah, that could happen. The tension and the danger build with each scene. Now, that's a lot of praise. Even given that good praise, there were a few things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done better. For example, most people will expect a lot of action since Gerard Butler is in it, like I just mentioned. But sadly, nope. Now, don't get me wrong, there is action. It's just not one of his typical, outrun the earthquake that's collapsing the state of California or something like that. Anyway, but there is some action, but there's a lot of talking. There are also too many non-essential characters, and sometimes it's hard to know where to invest your concern or attention, especially when a new character comes on the screen. You're like, oh, maybe this person's super important. And you're like, memorizing his name and trying to figure it out. And then you never see him before or see him again. You know what I mean? There are quite a few night scenes that are very dark. So if you stream this movie on a small device, you're not going to be able to see very much. I'm just giving you the heads up. A lot of conversations are spoken in hushed tones. So I couldn't always hear what people were saying. And I'm sure that it was meant to be profound, but I just missed it because I couldn't hear them. The story of a man's family on the rocks is super cliched in the movies, especially military movies. And sadly, it's not that uncommon in the actual military and in the foreign service. One of my sons is in the Army, and he was deployed after not being married for very long, like his first year of marriage. And I said to him, the Army is so mean. And he's like, well, they do train us to kill people. But so many times they demand so much from our soldiers, and these poor spouses are left alone or with the children to, be single parents. And then they're shocked that the divorce rate is so high in the military. I'm just saying, there's my 2 cents in case anybody who has any military authority can make that change. It's the same thing like with doctors. Why do they make doctors work a 12-hour shift? Do you really want your doctor working on you on his 12th hour when he's exhausted, right? Or, I get it. It's a payroll thing. They only have to have 2 shifts of doctors and nurses and all of that. It just doesn't make sense when you think a human person, a human body needs to get rest and have other things in their life besides work. Boy, I'm on a rant now. Okay, back to the movie. If I had seen this movie before watching the movie The Covenant, I'm sure I would have enjoyed it more. I would have thought, oh, wow, what a great story. How heartbreaking and touching. Unfortunately, that's not the case because it just kind of felt a little bit like a retread of the movie The Covenant, but not nearly as good. So what about you? Which one did you enjoy more if you saw both of them? And honestly, if you only have the time and energy for one of them, I would watch The Covenant. I thought it was that good. But if you enjoyed The Covenant and you just want more of the same kind of a thing, military, realistic type of stories, then have at it. Then I think you'll enjoy this movie. All right, let me give you some tips for parents. There is some profanity, including many F-bombs. It's the military. Lots of explosions and destruction with a high dead body count. Lots of weapons, but mostly firearms. We see some soldiers brutally beat up civilians, and some foreign languages are often spoken without subtitles. Other than that, of course, what we see is soldiers out in very dangerous situations. And in this case, running for their lives and survival. All right, so some of the themes that are illustrated very well are accountability, survival, friendship, patriotism, government operatives, loyalty, espionage, politics, family, marriage, and traitors. So they're covering a lot of territory. So I always write down funny lines and interesting lines while I'm watching the movies so that I can share them with you so you can get a taste for the script writing and the dialogue. And I have them all on my written website at moviereviewmom.com. As I was looking over my notes, I realized I didn't write down any funny lines, but I do have some interesting lines. Okay, so here are 2 lines spoken in a conversation. One of them is spoken by a character named Luna, who says, "You said I could go home." And then a bad guy says, "You will as a martyr." Dun, dun, dun. That's a terrible thing to say to somebody. And I don't want to give you any spoilers. So anyway, it was just a line that I was like, oh, that's terrible. All right, so before we go, let me give you recommendations for a couple of 3 movies that I think they are very well done that are kind of similar. The first one being The Covenant, which I already mentioned. I just think Jake Gyllenhaal is such an incredible actor, and the storytelling in that movie was so good. And Jake Gyllenhaal, in fact, said that is the first time he cried while watching one of his own movies. And I cried. Bring tissues. It's a really great movie. Another one is called Behind Enemy Lines. It's a little bit of an older movie, but it's also well done. And it's that constant running for your life survival type of movie. And then just another one about our military over there in Afghanistan is based on a true story called 12 Strong. And it's got some special forces and some army guys and some great actors that I know that you'll enjoy. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching my movie review. I hope that was helpful as you decide if you want to spend time or money or both on this movie and all movies. That's always my goal. When you get a minute, run over to Facebook and join our Facebook group called, guess what? Movie Review Mom. You can also find me on Instagram and really all social media as Movie Review Mom, or my author name, Trina Boice. I really appreciate your support. And at the very least, give this video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, that's it. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.